Hope you're doing well. Today we're going to do area of a circle. So we need to know the formula to find the area of a circle, and we also need to be able to calculate the area of circles. Last lesson we looked at circumference of circles, and so for your starter questions I'd like you to do these. Pause your video, spend no more than 10 minutes doing these questions. Once you are through, resume the video to check your answers. Alright, so we need to calculate the circumference of a circle, and there are two formulas that we use. Either we use C is equal to pi multiplied by diameter when the diameter is given, or we use C is equal to 2 times the pi times radius, okay, when the radius is given. So in our first question it says calculate circumference of a circle. The diameter is 7. And we should leave our answer in terms of pi. So we're going to use a formula where the diameter is given. So C is equal to pi multiplied by diameter, which is equal to pi times 7. The question says leave your answer in terms of pi. So all we need to do is write 7 pi and then centimeters for the units. Okay, the next question says we need to calculate the circumference of a circle. This time it has a diameter of 20 meters, and we should leave our answer to one decimal place. So we'll have to use a diameter formula. C is equal to pi times diameter, which is pi times 20, and that's 20 pi, but we need to give our answer in decimal, and that's one decimal place. So we'll press SD on our calculator, and that should give us 62.8 to one decimal place, and again units meters. Next question, we need to find the circumference with the radius being 7 centimeters. So we're going to use C is equal to pi times 2 times the radius, or if you have 2 times pi times the radius, which is equal to pi times 2 times 7, and that is going to be 14 pi. Okay, because we need to leave our answer in terms of pi, we don't need to change it, so we leave it and write our units to be centimeters. Next, our final one is circumference of the circle with a radius of 20 meters. So C is equal to 2 times pi times radius is equal to 2 times pi. The radius is 20, so we end up with 40 pi, but we need to change that to one decimal place. So we would get 125.7 meters. You to write down the formula for the area of a circle, and that is area is equal to pi times radius, and radius times radius is just written as radius squared. So therefore this is our formula, area is equal to pi times the radius squared. Now if we're looking at the area of the circle, what we are looking at is the region that I am shading, and that is where the area of the circle would be. Okay, so make a note of the formula, pause the video to copy it, and then resume when you're ready to move on. Work on the area of some circles. The radius is given. Okay, so in the first question we have find the area in terms of pi. So we write our formula, A is equal to pi times the radius squared. So that means we have pi times the radius from the center to our point on the circle is 9. So we need to square 9. And then 9 squared is 81 times pi is just 81 pi. We leave it as that because question says leave your answer in terms of pi, so we just write our units next to that and we're complete. 81 pi centimeters squared. In our next question it says find the area given your answer to one decimal place. So again you will write your formula, area equal pi times the radius squared So we'll have pi times, this time the radius is 3.5, so we have to square that. So you can put that in a calculator. 3.5 squared is 3.5 times 3.5. And that gives me 12.25 pi. Okay, so 3.5 squared gives me 12.25, and then multiply by pi, so we get that 12.25 pi. However, this time it says that we need to give our answer to one decimal place, so we'll have to press our SD button and we'll get 38.5, and then we put our units, centimeters squared. Okay, so we have found the area of circles and our radius is given, so all we need to do is put in the radius and square that. All right. Now, let us look at finding the area of these two circles. Now, remember, I've given you the formula where the radius is given. If you look at these two circles that we're finding the area for, it's the diameter that is given, so I have to pay close attention to that. So in the first example, it says find the area in terms of pi. So we'll just write our formula. A is equal to pi times the radius squared. Now from this circle, what would be our radius? Our radius will be half of the diameter from the center to one point on the circle is our radius, so that's 6 there as well, so that means the radius is equal to 6. So we just need to put pi times 6 squared, and we'll end up with 6 times 6, 36 pi centimeters squared, because answer must be in terms of pi. Okay, let's look at our next question. We need to find the area, but this time give our answer to one decimal place. So write our formula, area equal pi times the radius squared. Okay, so pi times, they've given us the diameter again, so we therefore need to find the radius, which is half of the diameter, which is in this case 4.5. all right, so we'll do 4.5 and we'll square that. So 4.5 times 4.5 is going to give us 20.25 when we square that, and then multiply by pi, so pi goes next to that. It says we should give our answer to one decimal place, so we need to press the SD button and we will get 63.6 centimeters squared, and that is how we calculate area of circles. So pay attention, if they've given a diameter, you have to find half of the diameter to get our radius. Now I'd like you to try some questions for me. So for the first one, I'd like for you to find the area of this circle. Giving your answer to one decimal place, pause the video, spend no more than a minute doing that, then resume to check your answer. Okay, so we start with our formula. Area is equal to pi times the radius squared. The radius has been given, which is great, so we do pi times 11 squared. 11 squared is 121, so we get 121 pi, but it asks us to give our answer to one decimal place, so therefore we would get, for our final answer, 380.1 centimeters squared. Next problem. Pause the video, spend no more than a minute trying the question, then resume to check your answers. All right, so we will write our formula. This time we've been given the diameter, so we need to find the radius, which is half of the diameter. Since the diameter is 20, the radius is going to be 10. So 10 squared and that will give us 100 pi. But again, give our answer to 1 dp, so press our SD button and get to our 1 decimal place, which is 314.2 centimeters squared. Well done. Thanks for trying those. Let's move to the next slide. Here's task 1. I'd like you to access the worksheet from Show My Homework, then you'll choose bronze, silver, or gold. Spend no more than 20 minutes attempting these questions. Then scroll down to the bottom of the worksheet, click on the green tick, and the answers will come up for you. Mark them, then resume the video to continue with the next part of the lesson. Thank you. Now we're going to look at calculating radius and diameter of a circle when we're given the area. So in our first example, the area is 20 and we have the radius being x. So we will use area is equal to pi times the radius squared. Okay, now the area is 20, we have pi, and the radius squared we need to find in order to get x. So what we'll do, we'll keep our radius squared and we are going to divide 20 by pi. Okay, now once you do 20 by pi, we're going to get 6.366, and let's keep 3 decimal places at the moment in our calculation. That's going to give us radius squared. Now to find our radius, we'll have to find the square root of 6.366. Okay, so find the square root of 6.366, and that gives us 2.52, and for the radius, because we wanted the answer to 2 decimal places. Alright, let us look at the second example. So again, we're given the area and we need to find the radius. So we'll do area is equal to pi times the radius squared. So what we will do is substitute the value of the area. The area is 100 pi this time, and then keep our pi times the radius squared. If we want radius squared, we're going to keep that and divide 100 pi by pi. Okay, so this pi will divide, we'll be doing the division. So once we put that in our calculators, we should get 100 for r squared, for the radius squared. So to find the radius, we just need to find the square root of 100. And the square root of 100 is equal to 10. So that means the radius is 10 centimeters. Also, we need to put centimeters there to keep our units. All right. So we've been given the area in these questions to find our radius. So all you have to do is divide the area by pi. So we divide the area 20 by pi, we got radius squared, and the number you get, you find the square root of that. Again, in the second example, we had the area that was given divided by pi, that's the radius squared. And once you find the value for that, you find the square root to get the radius. All right. Now, this time we want to find x, which is now our diameter, given the area. So our formula, area equal pi times the radius squared. Our area given was 400. We have pi times the radius squared, which is going to help us to find out what the radius is. So to get r squared, we're going to do 400 divided by pi. Okay, so 400 divided by pi is going to give us 127.324. And then to get the radius, we'll do the square root of that. So the square root is 127.324. So let's do that. And I get 11.28 to 2dp. That's our radius, but we're not quite finished because the x that they ask us for is actually diameter. So what we'll have to do then is multiply this by 2, because 2 radii will give you the length of your diameter. So I'm just going to do it over here. The diameter is going to be 2 times the radius. 2 times 11.28 is going to give us 22.56 centimeters. All right, so that is our diameter. Let's do it for the next problem. So we'll get area is equal to 50 pi in our question. So we're going to use our formula, area equal to pi times radius squared. So we're going to put 50 pi in, and then pi times radius squared. So to get the radius square, we're going to divide 50 pi by the pi that's there. And when we put that in our calculators, we get 50. So our radius squared is 50. So to get the radius, we have to find the square root of 50. So our square root of 50 is going to give me radius being 7.07 to 2dp. But if you want the diameter, we have to multiply our radius by 2. So then 2 times 7.07 is going to give me 14.14 centimeters, and that is going to be our diameter. Now for task 2, I'd like you to pause the video and spend no more than 15 to 20 minutes trying these questions, then resume the video to check your answers. Alright, here are the answers. Please mark them. Once you're through, take photos of your work, send through to me and show my homework. Please ensure that you're showing working for everything. Thank you and have yourselves a lovely day.